So after showing you how to travel to Lamu on a budget of 55,000 Kenya shillings for a week, here are general things I think you should know before you travel to Lamu. Number one is I think you should know that Lamu is extremely beautiful and it's worth being on your bucket list. Number two is I think you should know that people in Lamu are extremely friendly, and so do not be afraid to ask for directions or any help because people are always willing to go out of their way to help you. Number three is I think you should know that Lamu is divided into three main parts. We have the Lamu Old Town, Shela, and Manda. So it's important to note where your accommodation is because it will determine how often you take a boat. For instance, if your accommodation is in Lamu Old Town, then you'll need to take a boat to Shela or Manda to enjoy the beach. But if your accommodation is in Shela or Manda, then you just walk to the beach. Number four is you need to know that Lamu is an island with very narrow paths, so there are only three modes of transport: a boat ride, donkey ride, or walking. They do have motorbikes, but these are restricted to just specific places, so they aren't that reliable. For boats, they have private and public ones. A private boat costs an average of 600 Kenya shillings per ride, while a public boat costs an average of 100 Kenya shillings per person per ride. Number five is I think you should know that Lamu is a Muslim-dominated area, and so women covering their bodies is widely practiced. Having said that, you are not expected to dress like a Muslim woman, but avoid wearing skimpy things while strolling around town. I remember during my visit, we went to the beach one day, and when it was time to go back to our Airbnb, I figured since I was wet, I'd just wrap a lesso around my body and walk. The Airbnb was not so far from the beach. That was a wrong decision. I got 3 comments from men saying jifunike. This means in Swahili, cover yourself. Mark you, just my back and the arms were showing. So in short, just avoid exposing too much skin. Also, avoid carrying alcohol around or drinking while strolling around town. The alcohol itself is not easily available or sold, so you are only guaranteed to get it in the hotels, the alcohol depot next to the AP camp, or the police canteen. Number 6 is I think you should know that Lamu being a tourist destination, you will likely need a tour guide. I advise you to speak with your host to organize this. I noticed that unlike other coastal towns, tour guides in Lamu are licensed, and anyone found with a tourist and they have no license face consequences. So just ensure you work with a licensed tour guide. Number 7 is please ensure you work with cash. The use of Lipa na M-Pesa is not as rampant like most places in Kenya. The places you find willing to accept Lipa na M-Pesa ask you to send money. Please note, this does not include the big hotels. I'm talking about the budget-friendly places where the locals shop, eat, or buy things. Number 8 is you should know that Lamu being a Muslim-dominated area, there are times when they close shop to go pray. This is daily at noon and 6 p.m. and they close for 30 minutes. So in case you need to buy something, have this in mind. Several times during my visit, I was caught off guard by this. Last but not least, let me speak about security in Lamu. So I got some comments from my last video where I said the Malindi-Lamu road is not as safe. Please note that Lamu is extremely safe. There hasn't been any insecurity in Lamu. Having said that, what I think you should know is that there have been several Al-Shabaab attacks on the road leading to Lamu, especially from Mpeketoni onwards. These attacks don't happen daily, but I personally escaped one in 2020. For some time, vehicles couldn't use that road without some police escort. Things have definitely improved, but you just never know. My duty is to give you the possible situations you may encounter and for you to decide what is best for you. I believe my videos on my trip to Lamu will help you plan your trip seamlessly. Follow for more budget travel content. Ciao!